Just ahead on CTV News, the County Council presents the adopted 2026 budget. Plus, an early morning shooting leaves one man dead. And
a coffin left on the side of the road in an Upper Marlboro neighborhood. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll be giving you all those details coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for May 30th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, with 3 days to spare, the Prince George's County Council has adopted its fiscal year 2026 budget. Despite facing a $200 million budget shortfall this session, for the first time in history, the County Council was able to secure funding for all 9 districts, something that the council chair and vice chair tell us is indicative of the future.
We had to cut almost $200 million from the budget, which is difficult and unprecedented for us to have to do. And even with that being said, this is the first budget where every part of the county got something. Now, this is the first budget where every council member got something.
When you deny a council member, you're not denying that individual. You're denying their entire district resources. And so what we're trying to get away from is there's a history of all the funding in every bucket going to one side of the county or to certain members based on political relationships. But we're saying that there's enough resources that every part of the county can be touched. I've pledged to lead in that way and continue that. And my hope is that every chair and leadership team after us does the same thing. And only then will the residents really start to feel the impact of the taxes that they pay across the entire county.
And that new budget will go into effect on July 1st.
Prince George's police are investigating a fatal shooting from this morning. This was the scene of a shopping center located on the 7,000 block of Allentown Road. Police were called to the area around 10 a.m. for a report of a shooting. When officers arrived, they found a man outside of a business suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on the scene. During the investigation, police blocked off access to the CVS and to several other businesses.
At this time, we do not believe it was a random shooting, so we don't believe that there is any threat to the community. Of course, any death, any fatal shooting that occurs is concerning because that could have been your loved one, my loved one. So we never want to see this happen. But rest assured that our officers were patrolling the area, so they were able to respond quickly.
Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact police at 1-866-411-TIPS. Above ground caskets have been around for more than 2,000 years.
But to find one on the sidewalk could make you think you're seeing ghosts. CTV's Bryce Parker is in Upper Marlboro with more.
It was one of the weirdest things that DPW&T says that they were called to pick up, a coffin laying right here on the side of Bishop's Bequest Road in Upper Marlboro, the first person to get the call. Councilmember Calvin Hawkins says that he thought initially he was getting a prank call.
It was the most bizarre call I can remember.
While preparing for yesterday's budget adoption, the councilman says that at 8 in the morning, he received a call from a woman reporting an abandoned coffin.
Immediately, I'm like, please, God, tell me no one's in there. And secondly, I hope school kids haven't come across this.
Hawkins then immediately rushed over, and fortunately, the coffin was empty. DPW&T then took action shortly after.
The Department of Public Works and Transportation responded expeditiously, and within an hour, the coffin was removed.
DPW&T, as well as Councilman Hawkins, hope that this bizarre case of illegal dumping serves as a learning lesson for county residents, that we should all be more mindful of how we are treating the place we call home.
This is our county. This is where we live. This is where we work. This is where we participate in recreation. We go out to social activities. Before you throw that piece of trash out or do some illegal dumping, think about your neighbors. Think about the kind of community you want to live in. If you want a clean and beautiful community in this as one former county exec said, this gorgeous Prince George's, help us keep it gorgeous. Don't litter, and please don't leave no abandoned coffins. Good grief. Man, this is not Halloween, this is Prince George's County.
DPWNT released a statement on social media yesterday reminding residents that dumping funeral items is illegal, stating that it's, quote, dangerous, costly, and unacceptable. In Upper Marlboro, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
Yeah, bizarre story there, Bryce. Thanks so much. As of right now, the reason for the casket being there is still unknown. And a suspect is now in custody for a fatal shooting in Capitol Heights back in March. 60-year-old Michael Hawley is charged with first and second-degree murder of 24-year-old Isaiah Hunter. Police tracked down and arrested Hawley on Tuesday. The shooting happened at the 1200 block of Boones Hill Road on March 23rd. Officers found Hunter suffering from gunshot wounds in a wooded area. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Now, investigation shows that Hawley and Hunter knew each other, and the shooting happened during a dispute.
An Upper Marlboro man is sentenced to more than 5 years in prison for multiple bank robberies from 3 years ago. 44-year-old Jonathan Brown Murphy pleaded guilty in July of 2023 to 3 counts of bank robbery. According to court documents, he robbed 6 banks within 2 days in both Maryland and the district. Brown Murphy would enter the bank and would slip the teller a note that read, quote, "Give me the money, don't get killed." He entered each bank wearing different clothes so he wouldn't be recognized. Entrepreneurs in the quantum sector made their way to College Park today. Participants took part in the Capital of Quantum Startup Symposium, which was hosted by the University of Maryland I-Corps. Maryland government officials and industry leaders discussed the future of quantum and shared their knowledge on the emerging industry. Secretary Harry Coker of the Maryland Department of Commerce says in the fiscal year 2026 budget, the Moore administration has invested $40 million to help maintain the state's standing as the capital of quantum.
So we need to make sure that we continue to have a lead in quantum research, and we need to turn that into workforce development as well. We need to ensure that we have the workforce to continue not just the research, but the operational use of quantum. And in order to do that, we need to continue to invest in quantum.
Quantum is the next frontier for not only our country, but our planet. It can have potential applications and solutions across the board in healthcare, in financial industry, and all kinds of things. But it's still so early, and people aren't really sure what to make of it and how to get it to actually to the point where it's solving the solutions. So this event was about bringing together all the key stakeholders to make that happen.
Tonight, a new front in the immigration fight. The Trump administration is taking aim at Maryland, labeling the state and more than a dozen communities as sanctuary jurisdictions. DHS is threatening to cut federal funds to localities that limit ICE cooperation. Named on the list, Prince George's County plus College Park, Hyattsville, Greenbelt, Mount Rainier, Cheverly, and Edmonston. Local leaders argue their policies build trust, not break laws. And Governor Wes Moore is firing back, telling CTV News public safety comes first, not meaningless labels or performative actions. He says Maryland is cutting violent crime and doing it while honoring the Constitution. And a Florida Republican congressman is putting the brakes on Metro funding unless they agree to a political name change. Representative Greg Stoops says he'll block $150 million in federal funds to WMATA unless the system is renamed the Trump Train and the agency itself becomes WMAGA, a nod to Trump's Make America Great Again slogan. He even posted an AI-generated image of Trump in a conductor hat, and he says this isn't just about branding, but about accountability. But Virginia Senator Mark Warner calls the move a vanity project and says House Republicans should focus on real issues, not renaming trains. CTV News has reached out to WMATA for comment and have not heard back yet.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, a county staple is expanding to a new location.
That's right. After the break, find out what sets this location apart from the rest. Back in a moment.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
Welcome back. It's been a bumpy ride for local school systems trying to keep up with Maryland's massive education overhaul, the blueprint for Maryland's future. Since the start, they've had to report to 2 different state agencies, and that's caused plenty of confusion. Now, more than 3 years in, the Maryland State Department of Education and the Blueprints Accountability and Implementation Board say they're finally working on an agreement to smooth things out. No timeline yet, but MSDE says a formal memorandum is in the works. Meanwhile, 6 PGCPS leaders just earned doctorates in school system leadership from the University of Maryland. It's part of a push to strengthen the district through research and results-driven leadership. So congratulations to Doctors Gordon Libby, Lesma Watkins, Trina Hayes, Courtney Ball, Felicia DeJow, and Latanya Southern. They worked with the University Center for Educational Innovation, aimed at testing what works and making real change for students across the district.
Well, can you spell éclaircissement? That's the word that won 13-year-old Faison Zaki of Allen, Texas, the 2025 Scripps National Spelling Bee champion. Zaki locked in the title after 21 grueling rounds and a little drama before spelling the French word meaning enlightenment.
Your word is éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement. E-C-L-A-I-R-C-I-S-S-E-M-E-N-T. Éclaircissement.
That is correct.
Honestly, I was just ready to get it over with. I definitely wasn't expecting this, though.
Well, you certainly answered with confidence. How hard has he worked to get here, especially after last year being the runner-up? How much perseverance has he had to show in order to keep studying like this?
Very hard. He has worked a lot, yes.
So, what's next for you, Faison?
No idea. I'm probably going to stay up the entire night or something.
Oh, believe me, you will. You will.
Congratulations to him. Zaki walks away with over $50,000, a trophy, and the national bragging rights. It's his 4th trip to the Bee and his first win. This title he spelled with joy, and it paid off. Meantime, Maryland's casinos generated millions of dollars in revenue last month. The state's 6 casinos brought in more than $162 million of revenue last April. The money comes from the casino slot machines and table games. The state's Education Trust Fund will get $50.9 million in the revenue, which is a 1.1% increase from April of last year. MGM National Harbor generated $68.6 million last month, which is a 0.8% increase from April of last year.
Well, this morning, a celebration of local businesses in District 4. Councilmember Ingrid Watson is bringing the community together with a special series of Keeping District 4 Business Friendly breakfast events. It aims to support growth and connection among local entrepreneurs.
We really need to focus on retaining our businesses, bringing in new businesses, and really focusing on helping them to stay here and live here and work here.
I love connecting with business owners in the area because at the end of the day, the solutions we offer, everyone needs. So that's the main thing, come connect and see how I can be a resource for them as well to help their business grow.
The next breakfast will be on June 27th from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Greenbelt. And CVS Pharmacy is set to close 270 more stores this year. About 10 stores across D.C., Maryland, and Virginia will close. This is a part of the store's nationwide store realignment to reduce store density and better position its pharmacies to meet consumer needs. Despite the closures, the company says 85% of Americans will still live within 10 miles of a CVS pharmacy.
The county soul food staple Carolina Kitchen is hosting a VIP grand opening this weekend. Sea and Soul, the newest addition to the Carolina Kitchen family, redefines Southern cuisine by blending traditional home-style dishes while specializing in seafood. The event will feature a fashion show, live performances from local bands, and of course, complimentary samples of what's in store for the new location.
It humbles me to see how many people are excited about this location, a beautiful part of Prince George's County. I mean, the whole Prince George's County is beautiful, but this particular area is hot, hot, hot. We love it. Right here in the corner, right here on Martin Luther King Boulevard. We are just so excited about opening this location. Most people know us as a Southern cuisine powerhouse, the Carolina Kitchen, but this is the Carolina Kitchen. Well, I'm not gonna say bar and grill, even though we have bar and grill. Sea and Soul. So it specializes in seafood and just so happen to have a little bit of down-home cooking to Southern cuisine collectively together. So that's exciting.
This will be the 7th Carolina Kitchen location. If you miss out on tomorrow's VIP grand opening, there will be a general public grand opening next Thursday. For more information, check out their Instagram at Official Carolina Kitchen. And still to come on CTV News.
We sit down with a local woman who's making diverse health care more accessible. We'll be right back.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
As Mental Health Awareness Month comes to a close, we're shining a spotlight on a local business making a big impact through virtual care. Diverse Health is on a mission to provide culturally competent primary care and mental health services to underserved communities across the country.
Joining us today to talk about the importance of cultural responsive mental health care is founder and CEO of Diverse Health, Tamika Goodson. Ms. Goodson, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to start a diverse healthcare business?
Sure. So I started Diverse Health in 2021 as a dual certified nurse practitioner providing both mental health and primary care. For too long, underserved communities have been left out of the conversation surrounding mental health, and Diverse Health seeks to change that by providing care that is accessible, culturally sensitive, and empowering.
And I feel like a lot of times in the Black community, we don't really talk about mental health and things like that. So why do you think cultural competence is so important when it comes to mental health?
That's a great question. So cultural competence isn't just a buzzword, it is a necessity. And so people are suffering in silence, and when you have a provider who understands you and respects your unique backgrounds, that's when real healing can begin.
And can you talk a little bit about some of those misconceptions when you talk about culture competent care in your field?
Sure. So from misdiagnosis to dismissal of pain and racial bias, these are real things that affect our communities. And so we're changing that at Diverse Health. We're meeting people where they are while also celebrating their lived experience.
And how do systemic inequalities kind of intersect with mental health delivery?
Yeah, I mean, I think I already talked a little bit about some of the things we hear about most frequently, like having our pain levels dismissed or being racially biased when receiving care. Those are the things that impact us directly and impact our families, and it really is time for us to do something about it. And so Diverse Health has developed a nationwide platform that really meets people where they are and seeks to bridge those gaps.
And can you also talk about the importance of having that virtual care from a physician?
Yeah, so we use virtual care as a bridge and not a barrier. And so whether patients live in a rural area or are juggling 2 jobs, or if they just get anxiety when walking into a medical clinic, we're still able to provide quality care to patients, those patients who really need it most.
And how have you seen that virtual care kind of change the experience for individuals who can't maybe go in person or anything like that?
Yeah, so because virtual care allows people to stay in their homes, they're really able to show up as themselves, stay in their comfort zone, and feel comfortable while receiving their care. We've treated thousands of patients since 2021, and we've received feedback that this is the first time they're feeling heard, they feel respected and valued by their providers, and those engagements are what improve patient outcomes.
And when you're hearing those comments from patients, how does that make you feel knowing that you created this business and you're hearing positive feedback?
Yeah, it really makes me feel like I am walking in my purpose and in my passion. You know, I knew that this had to be bigger than myself. I started the business serving an immediate need in my own community, and quickly found that people from all over were really looking for this level of personalized care.
And even though you have been getting good feedback, I'm sure that there's still some challenges. So what challenges do remain within the underserved communities?
Well, there's a lot of stigma around mental health, but beyond that, accessibility is a major concern. And so right now, we're looking to bring our services to all 50 states nationwide. And as a part of that, we're currently raising $1 million in a seed funding round to really catapult our growth and reach those communities in need.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Diverse Health currently operates in more than 30 states and is on track to serve 200,000 patients by the end of 2025.
For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit mydiversehealth.com. And still to come on CTV News,
Simon Buggs is here with our Friday Sports page.
Don't move on, Muscle Sports fans, because I have some minor league baseball highlights for you in store after the break.
Experience a golden era of music with Motown Explosion at the Bowie Center for Performing Arts. Sunday, June 8th. Doors open at 2 p.m. For tickets, visit bowiecenter.org or call 301-805-6880.
All right, sports fans, are you ready? Because your Friday sports page is here. The Chesapeake Bay Sox looked to get back in the win column last night as they took on the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. It was a quick 3 outs for Binghamton in the first inning, and now the Bay Sox offense took the field. And the team made plays almost immediately as catcher Creed Willems had this big hit right out of the ballpark, giving him a home run, and his team was now up 1-0 on the Rumble Ponies at the end of the first inning. Chesapeake did go scoreless in the second inning, but so did Binghamton too, thanks to the outfield stepping up and getting 2 of the Ponies' 3 outs of the inning before they could score. Fast forward to the top of the 5th, the Bay Sox were still ahead 1-0. That was until Rumble Ponies player Nick Morabito had a big hit of his own to the outfield. Chesapeake couldn't get the ball to any of the bases in time, and infielder Jet Williams was able to run all the way back to home plate just in the nick of time, giving Morabito an RBI, and the game was now tied at 1 apiece. But Binghamton didn't stop there as the team recorded another run thanks to this RBI by another Rumble Pony. And now Binghamton was up 2-1 on Chesapeake. The score stayed the same until the end, and Chesapeake moved to 23-23 on the season. But the Bay Sox had a chance to redeem themselves as they had a second game against Binghamton, but Chesapeake lost that game as well, and now the team is 23-24. The two teams will face off again tonight at 6:30. Hopefully they get the win. Meanwhile, the Burgundy and Gold are in the midst of OTAs, and as the season gets closer and closer, one question on Commanders fans' minds is, what does year 2 look like for Jaden Daniels? The Heisman Trophy winner had one of the best rookie campaigns for a quarterback in NFL history, helping lead Washington to the NFC Championship game on his way to winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Despite the success he had in 2024, the 24-year-old is always looking to get better. And head coach Dan Quinn loves that about his franchise quarterback.
He's an amazing teammate. The amount of work that he puts in that goes unseen here to get ready to play, to learn it, to teach others, to connect the guys that's going through. There is no flinch in Jaden Daniels. He is an absolute, as focused and relentless as you could about getting better. And so that's why I said for us around here, man, we appreciate that.
Man, one thing's for sure, all eyes are going to be on JD5. Moving on to volleyball news, the Big Ten schedule for the Terps volleyball team has been released. Maryland will open their schedule with 3 consecutive road trips against Iowa on September 25th, Nebraska on the 27th, and then Rutgers on October 3rd. And in October, the Lady Terps will also face off against Penn State, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State, USC, UCLA, and Indiana. And moving on to November, the Terps will also take on Northwestern, Ohio State, Michigan, and more. For more information on the team schedule, visit the website on your screen. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Mystics will host the New York Liberty tonight. Tip-off is at 7:30. And that is your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Simon. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, we're under a flood watch until tomorrow morning, so be prepared. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are expected between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Sunday, we get a nice day of sunshine. It'll be 73 degrees. Monday, we get another sunny day. We'll reach a high of 77 and a low of 57.
And for our community calendar tomorrow morning, join the county's Vision Zero in Street Smart for a Hope Without Boundaries 5K run and walk. The walk is in partnership with the Black and Missing Incorporated and aims to raise awareness for missing persons of color and supported families in need. This walk takes place from 8 to 11:30 a.m. at the National Harbor. For questions or more information about the foundation, contact blackandmissinginc.com.
All right, well, that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you again on Monday. Good night and have a great weekend.